Hey guys, Jen here. Sammy is sleeping. Please forgive his snoring. This is an impromptu live stream. Hopefully it won't be too bad. I wanted to tell you a little story. And it's late, so I'm not talking loud. When a house is quiet, even if you're alone in a room, it still sounds very, very loud. So I'm not going to raise my voice very much. I apologize if that's a problem for some people. Sometimes it is, but I'm pretty loud, so it shouldn't be a problem. Alright, so I wanted to tell you guys a story. My strange life, because there's so many things that don't make sense. So the first thing is, I think it was the day before yesterday. Time was weird. I lost like an hour and I wasn't doing anything. I was literally getting up in the morning to, use the restroom. And I remember just like rubbing my eyes and looking at the phone and then looking right back at the phone, like a minute later at the clock, whatever, trying to estimate what time the dogs would be up or wake me up if I could go back to bed. And an hour had passed, like in, no kidding, like 20 seconds. I don't know why. I don't know. As always, this is part of my testimony. I'm not a doctor, a medical professional. I'm not a legal professional. I'm not a professional. So for such advice, please seek out your chosen professional. This is, sadly, my life story. And I'm not really like a lot of other TIs in the fact that I try to take accountability for the things that I did wrong, even if other people led me to them. And so I have to tell you, I've really fallen short recently. I have no desire to hurt myself or anyone else. But I think by telling people they need to be in control of their emotions and not allowing their emotions to lead them, which are both true things, at the same time, you intuitively, your intuition hits at that same point. It hits your emotional level. Or in the secular world, let's say they call it emotions or your mentality. And in the spiritual realm, you would call that your spirit, right? Or the non-secular realm, you would call it your spiritual health or whatever, what have you. So anyways, I don't know where exactly I was going with that, but I just wanted to put that in there. Being accountable is a big part of this. And I've fallen short the last few days. I think it's okay to get mad and frustrated, especially with all the problems that we are given pretty much at birth in this place from previous generations. And trust me, I'm not blaming them. Most of us are on the same, well, some of us are on the same page in which that we weren't told a whole lot. Looking back on my life, I see all the clues I was given. I see all the ways people tried to tell me without telling me, which tells me we've been monitored for a long time, probably after World War II, I would estimate, if not before then, but I think it went big time after World War II when Nixon signed that one agreement I talked about a few videos ago. And I think that may be why certain people kept secrets from certain people, or things weren't said to us directly out loud, per se. There goes the dog, please forgive me for that. And do like the videos, not because they'll get more push or whatever. The channel's not monetized. It's just so I know if I'm hitting anybody, if I'm connecting with anybody, and if this is helping anybody. I know, for whatever reason, I have a whole lot of enemies at this point, which is kind of ridiculous. Like, and again, we all have to be accountable, but it's ridiculous in the fact that time and time again, I have taken family members in. I took people in who weren't related to me. I fed girls that I used to dance with back in the day. I fed their children. I cleaned them up when they come knocking on the door at 2 a.m. because their man beat them. Like, that's just who I was. And it doesn't make me great or anything like that. I'm saying we all have this darkness within that we have to battle against, or it can consume us. So first I want to touch on a couple of videos ago, which I hid for the time being. Some of these I hide, and when they all open up, that will be pretty much the signal or the sign that I don't think the channel, or I will be around doing the channel much longer. Again, I don't have any desire to harm myself, although I'm told to do that regularly by people. It's just not something I will do. And I don't consent to having guns in my house. What you do with your life is your business. Why people get so angry at me about that is I hope some of you start to see, the ones who do come here for a little encouragement or connection or someone to relate to in this world. I hope you see that the things that people criticize me for and the things that I get trolled for are probably true then. The goal is to get us at civil war. The goal is to get us to hate each other, whether it's for race, gender, orientation, religion, political affiliation. They don't care what it is. It's just got to be one side against the other. And we are in a binary system, and I do believe on one hand that can be at least used to our benefit and to allow it to train us and modify our behavior in good ways, right? Try and take that and alchemize it. Take that bad junk that people are giving you and turn it into something good. And I don't believe you can do that without the Creator. My opinion, you can have yours, and I'm not going to criticize you for that. I don't operate that way. No matter what people say about me or what assumptions people make about you or any of us, nobody actually knows until they're walking in your skin and until they've lived your life. Even if they live with you and they think they know you, you don't know until you are in that position yourself. You just don't see it. So relating to a video from a few days ago that I talked about how these people who seem to be related, all I did was cross-reference them. I had their emails, they had their last names attached to it. I Googled them. They were on Facebook publicly. I was not friends with these people, and I was able to track them down. One of them works at the gym of my husband's company. They have a gym contractor membership, and that's where Michelle is from, and it hurts me bad. But thinking back, his best friend kept mentioning a Michelle and Jessica all the time. All the time. And Laura is a big one. It's funny how many people can really despise you and you've done nothing to them. You've barely interacted with these people. And you can call me paranoid and you can say, yeah, the whole town's against you. Well, when you hurt somebody that has a group of people and you're in their area, territory, whatever you say, and you have no family around, it's really not out of the realm of possibilities to say, yeah, you're being blackballed. And if you're an Italian, you know what blackballed means. Or if you're old school, you know what that is. It is a legit, real thing that happens. But they have steered our children into believing that everyone is mentally ill if you are religious. You're mentally ill if you pray. You're hearing voices, so you're schizophrenic. On and on it goes. Yet on the other hand, they tell us we're not doctors. It's not our job to be discussing certain medical issues. But yet it's okay for these people who are not anything to tell us we're crazy all the time. Do you see the hypocrisy? Somebody once told me, I said I'd stop going to church because there was a lot of hypocrites there. And she put me in my place very gently and she said, that is the best place for a hypocrite. I know I have very few fans out there. I don't want fans. The thing is that when you're not called to be nice. That's not our job. The truth isn't always nice. Honesty isn't always nice. Telling somebody that you love, hey, I think this is a problem, even if you're on your own and nobody else is telling that person, that's not always nice. but it is kind and it does come from the heart. So I failed recently in losing my cool with somebody and raising my voice to them, because it's a lot to deal with, everything that's happened the last several years in our family unit. And it's frustrating because I see this person clearer and clearer each day. They lose that acting ability or whatever it is, and people are falling more and more into depravity. And it's obvious in the jokes they tell, the way they handle themselves, what they think is funny, what they watch, what they laugh at, what they read, if they read. All of these things tell about a person. And I'm not saying you have to be a suit and you have to be high society. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying whether you're a maintenance man or the CEO, there's a basic, gentle, and tender respect for human life and a sanctity of the family that we have totally lost. And people like me, for talking like that, well, we're too sensitive. The problem is us. And I want to talk on mental illness because I don't have mental illness. I don't have a medical degree, but I have a lot of people telling me that I've got mental issues, which that's fine. That's your opinion. Doesn't make it true. But if you look around in this society and you think it's normal and you think everything's okay and you don't have some frustration or some basic depression, being a little down in the dumps, I'm sorry, but you've lost your humanity. And I don't know how to get it back for you because I've been trying with my own family. I've tried letters, I've tried handmade cards, I've tried pictures, I've tried gifts, I've tried words of encouragement, I've tried love, I've tried tough love, I've tried ignoring them, giving them their space. I've tried everything. It's nothing we can do. It has to come from them, and it has to come from a desire for something more. God is where we pull our morals and our values and our ethics from. And we used to at least have a basic respect for common decency. Even atheists, hey man, I don't know what's out there. Agnostics, I don't know what's out there. But you're my neighbor and I love you. If you need help, if you need to change a tire, if you need dinner because you're laid up, I'm here. That's how it used to be. I've seen it. Even from people who were horrible sometimes, I've seen it. So, as a continuation from that video, for people that say these things are in my mind, when I did all that cross-referencing, I called that gym because I wanted to talk to the person, Michelle, who allegedly works there. The first time I called, somebody picked it up and hung up. So knowing, you know me, I don't give up. I'm tenacious. So I called again. It rang several times. The person picked up the phone and hung it up again. So I called back. This time the person answered. It was a female. My question is this. Either A, it's a Fisher Price phone, and they had to decide who I was calling real quick because they didn't know how to answer the phone. 2, I'm monitored live in real time by somebody who anticipates the things I'm going to do. Like, that's it. Those are the only options. And the person I talked to was kind enough. She answered basic questions. I wanted to make sure she actually worked there. It was actually a gym. But yeah, that's not random. That's not a coincidence that I reach out to try and actually talk to this physical person. And I kept getting hung up on. Not even a hello. So again, I wonder, am I actually talking? Am I getting out anywhere to anybody? I do not consent to this type of isolating myself is one thing so that I don't do any harm anymore and so that I can just pray for people and try to work on healing, so that I'm not in a dark place. That takes a lot of energy. You can't keep people from their families. I've reached out to my sister, I've reached out to my cousin, I've reached out to best friends from high school. None of them could answer basic questions. None of them. The second I got to anything personal about their families, even asking them by name how this person was, that person was, they didn't reply anymore. Or they, I forget, remind me. That's all I've gotten. I told you this was going on a long time ago. I told you how easy it is to reroute somebody's signals so they're just going in a circle. Aurora Boreas, right? The snake eating its own tail. You're not actually getting out to the internet of the world. You're in an intranet. In your own home, your own town. Who knows? Is it AI? Do these people actually know we're blackballed and they ignore us purposely? Is it somebody else behind the screen pretending to be our relatives and family? I don't know what the answer is. So now I'm going to show you something else that really breaks my heart. But these pictures are publicly available because I'm not friends with this person. This person is not a minor. And again, these were publicly available. So I was making a comment to somebody on my channel a little while ago about how I had failed today and I had to go repent because I saw Father Mike Schmidt put up a video pretty much immediately after I had a heart issue. And it's not the first time that's happened. So again, either it's demons in the phone and they put in your view whatever they think you need at that time. But it's not always bad, right? There's some good that's happening. I'm Truman, and people are seriously just watching me and making certain videos to let me know, like, hey, you're not alone. Or I'm tapped into something and I'm just like a radio receiver. I don't know. I don't know the answer. You tell me the answer. Somebody, please. Because I don't know what the answer is anymore. This is a pink moon. There's a folk artist. His name is Nick Drake. He dealt with depression. He had personal demons. And his music has got me through a lot of hard times. Pink Moon is one of his best songs, I think. It's a happy little ditty, sort of. It's kind of bittersweet. Check it out if you get time. It's kind of my mood lately. So there's the comment I put on Father Mike's video a little while ago. When you humiliate somebody, it is not the same as them being humbled. Let me be very clear. I seek humility, but I don't know if you're actually humble if you say you are. And I don't know if you're actually not prideful if you say you're not. We all have pride in us, all of us. So being humbled is not the same as somebody humiliating you. Like in public, on video. We're seeing a lot of that lately. It's almost as if there's an award out for whoever can have the most viral video for doing the most heinous, nasty thing. You're seeing good guys being persecuted, but alleged bad guys are too. So what's going on? Is it the tribulation? I don't know. It feels like it in my own life. Is that really what's going on out there? It seems to be. I mean, I don't know what else to say at this point. That's my name, by the way. Jennifer Marie. I spell it with 2 N's. My sister knows that, but she's never respected it. Just like she spells her name with an E at the end, but I don't put it there. Probably just to be a goober, but I do it now. Too little, too late, I guess. This is my sister. Impersonating me and stalking me online. I told you I've seen her face, or what looks like her face, AI-generated stuff. She always hung out with the wrong people, always. Bad crowds. She's the one that my mom called me about in 2010 or 11, saying she was in Florida and she thought she got into some life insurance scam and they weren't letting her come back. Florida, that's where all them Slender Man people are too. That's where I went and came back, and my life was messed up beyond belief. Stalking, all of it after that. Speaking of which, have you ever had cell phone interference? Again, my parents owned a video store. It's pretty hard to trick me with certain things. There used to be these things, and the FCC had banned them because they interfere with radio signals, radio waves, but they're called scramblers, and it's basically an encryption for analog sound, audio. And you scramble a device, meaning that person can't use it, they can't hear what's being said, whatever. That happened to me the night that I called. I didn't call the police, I called my mother-in-law and said, your son's here. I think he's planning something wicked. Please talk some sense into him. He's been hanging out all hours of the night with this tattoo man, and this dude is bad, bad news. I called him Diablo for a reason. He's the one who told me he was a fallen angel when nobody else was around. Is he really? I don't know. But I know I lost time after he told me that. A couple hours. So I put this comment up there asking him, or telling him thank you, and his videos always seem to come at the right time. And her reply was, I pray for God to humiliate me. That's my sister. And I'm very upset because this looks partly AI, like washed or something, and she looks very sad. And like she's been crying a lot. She has an eyebrow piercing. You can see that she took it out right there. Her hair used to be blonde. She's dyed it brown. And she lost some weight the last time I seen her, but she looks like she might be gaining it back. But she looks very bad off. Is it really her behind this? I don't know. I don't know. I reached out to her some months ago, sent her a message. She didn't tell me a lot. But again, she's bad news. And bad company corrupts good morals. And I'm trying my best to shine as much as I can, which isn't much at this time. Not even for myself, just so maybe it rubs off on somebody else, like her. And I just got done praying for her today. And I mentioned her in that argument that I had. What's funny, though, is the last few times I've talked to her over the last 5, 6, 7 years, she can never connect. She can never come out here to see me. Even my cousin who said I could go live with him. I reached back out when his sister died. Didn't get much of a response. Talked about plants a little bit. But when I asked about that, no reply ever again. And he told my dad he'd watch out for me after he died. So am I really reaching these people? I don't think so. It's very easy for them to play games with me because I don't have anybody. That's very easy to do. How long have they been picking people out of society? I don't know. All I know is that a lot of the stories my mom told me about her life ended up happening to me. I know that she had teeth problems, and I know after she went to California, she changed. And then she went on a trip to Las Vegas, and she changed again. It's also where Diablo liked to hang out, LA and Vegas. You know what I think of Vegas. I think this is the original Israel. I think that's why America's been so blessed and we haven't had any wars on our soil. Is it crazy? Maybe. I don't know. But it makes some sense to me the more I thought about it and the more I looked into things and how everything has double names everywhere. And how the history of America is muddy and who discovered it and when. Because it was never lost. So you're going to say, how do you know that's your sister? That's not your sister, especially if you haven't seen her in a while. Number one, that's my name. Number two, she came to comment on my stuff because, yeah, they can track you. My other sister, I can pull up her profile on LinkedIn. She's an IT manager and developer at Carnegie Mellon, and she's going to school for her master's. So I don't come from a line of dumb people by any means, but their morals are seriously lacking, all of them. And at least 2 of them, I don't know about this one, are in the Rainbow Club. And that in itself is not a bad thing. It is when you want to weaponize your agenda that becomes a bad thing. When you want to push it on other people, that it becomes a bad thing. Or when you assume that I hate you just because you're a part of that group and you terrorize me and torment me because I stick up for children on Facebook. Because again, all this stuff started at the same time with a few different things that popped off. And I know that certain substances were brought around so that I would lose credibility. And I did. And I'm ashamed of it, and I'm embarrassed. I know that certain remarks that Sun, Moon, and Water made on her video were to me, cat and heat. And then Michelle makes a comment on my video about how she has to pay for 2 cats in heat at her place. These are not isolated incidences. And I don't care how many times you tell me it's coincidence. I have shown enough evidence on this channel of things being mucked with and messed with, and I know my way around electronics, so when somebody starts messing with them or things change on them, I'm pretty observant about it. What I'm done with is still looking for the good in people that obviously don't have any there. That's what I'm dumb about. I'm dumb about letting my heart get broken over and over and over again by this garbage. And it's great that Father Mike put up that video, but again, I'm real tired of being chastised by pretty much the world. You don't know what somebody's been through unless you've lived it. You have no clue. And every time you harass me, or you do those hidden messages or innuendos, you make double entendres, you don't seem to understand that gives me motivation. So I'm concerned about my sister, and of course I pray for her and her son. But she don't have much scruples. Last time I saw her was a trip to Cedar Point again, which was very strange, the things that went on at that time. And I was just starting to be like, wait, things are getting weird. It was 2016. And my husband kept going off away at this trip. And he didn't want to go. We got there very late. He didn't want me around his working associates, around his cousins. I'm pretty sure he has another family. He had to be ready for this new agenda that was rolling out. You have to be a part of the Rainbow Club. Or you have to be married to somebody in a different class than you, a different demographic. I'm not quite sure why. It's just these trends. And again, it seems to match with the Antichrist. All of his attributes are being displayed in his children, much like the children of God display the gifts of the Holy Spirit. That's how I know I have the Holy Spirit. I don't have a problem learning languages. It's not an issue for me. I've always been charitable. I've helped people when they were dying. I've helped the widow. I've helped the orphan. I've not visited anyone in jail yet, but I sense that's coming soon. And let me make this statement too. I saw a video go up, and again, if I see it has anything in common with anything that's been on my mind, I will not watch it. Because I want what I put out to be a fresh perspective for people. It's not about views. It's not about trending. It's not about any of that stuff. It's simply my penance because I did wrong in my life, and it's the very least that I can do. Is to say, hey, look at this, please. Don't go over that cliff like I did. Don't let them push you off of that cliff. Please. Hear me. Not because I want to be seen, and that's why I don't show my face a lot anymore. It's not about me. I don't even want to hear my own voice anymore, to be honest. I'm tired, and I'm weary, and they know this. And I am tired. I'm just tired. If you're watching this, sissy, I love you so much. And I loved being a big sister. And you know that when I moved away, I still tried to keep in touch. Everybody acts like it's a personal vendetta because I moved. And again, if there's things I don't know about territory and principalities, nobody taught me these things. My mom didn't even teach me how to be a woman. Like I was taught nothing. I love you. I pray for you all the time. I hope you're okay. I hope God touches you. And I pray for that little boy of yours. Because you got some serious issues, lady. I did everything that I could, and still you insisted that he sleep in a playpen in a dark, unfinished basement that weekend you came to stay with me. Every time I tried to go down and get him, you would not let me. Oh, he likes it in the dark, you said. I have a feeling there was all kind of rituals going on around me and I didn't even know. That's why I was falling asleep all the time. I'm pretty sure like I was being messed with. And this is hard to deal with. These are not normal circumstances. And when you try to explain them to people, all they do is ridicule you. You can say alien abduction, but the second you tell them, pretty sure it's people in the medical profession that have access to drugs. Yeah, that's her too. I helped her pass her STNA test. I was an STNA. They didn't want me in there no more though because I told the truth. Everyone around me was in on this agenda. They all knew what was coming. And now I don't even know if they have their free will. I have no idea. That's her. There's her eyebrow piercing. You tell me that is not the same person. Please tell me that this is a coincidence. Please, because I want it to be a coincidence. I don't want it to be her, but it is. That's my sister. This picture is old, but that's her. And I know how women are being treated now, especially the ones not going along with the agenda. I don't care what they say on TV. You have to understand everything is inverted. Everything. Our president today alleged president was on TV. Said, not my president, not my husband, not my king. Period. None of them. Not my pope. I don't even think he's still with us. I don't think he's been for a while. I think the queen passed before they said she did. Again, that's their business. There are a lot of big-time players going down right now, too. Rothschild just went down. The Antichrist is about to make his entrance. The king is down with cancer. Look around. See the physical manifestations and patterns that I told you about. And you will see where it looks like the Antichrist spirit is trying to be. But I told you, the people we see on TV, they might very well be proxies. Avatars, aliases, whatever you want to say, fake pictures. Their other face. If they're angels, they could do whatever. So yeah, that's my sister. This is not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence she used my name. The picture she chose for a sacrifice, not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. Oh, and she's with the agenda because she's a her, right? I'm so disgusted. Thanks for the likes, guys. That's righteous. I don't expect any. I wanted to add something, and I don't even remember what it was. These are not coincidences. America, or wherever this is being... The American experiment is over, as they say. Who knows? I mean, I have a really good idea what's coming. I've known for 6 years what was coming. Been screaming, trying to. Nobody's listening. Nobody cares. You got your fancy house, your fancy cars. Ain't no reason this chick here should be at the address she's at. I looked her up. In a $150,000 house. Nope. Nope. These people are getting paid very well for handing over their family members. That's what TIs are. We're nonconformists. We're free thinkers. We appreciate nature. We like to be out in nature. We're a little anti this world. at the moment. You don't have to be a Christian. You're on the list. You don't have to be. And I'm pretty sure, thinking about how I sensed that there was a deception with planes and flight. Let's be real clear about this. Lucifer is the prince of the air. That's his territory. So I'm pretty sure if you're a true believer, you're on the no-fly list. I would guarantee you every true Christian out there, true Christ follower, has never flown or is on the no-fly list. I would almost guarantee it. And now 144,000 doesn't seem like quite such a small number, because I see people saying they know Jesus and promoting guns. I see people saying they know Jesus, still living their elitist lifestyles and their rich and famous lifestyles, and still trying to be trending and popular. Christ wasn't about money, man. He wasn't about showing his face. He wasn't about accolades. It was enough for him to walk, and he knew that the people who would need to come to him would, and that he would be led to the ones who couldn't. It's very simple. They hate Christ because he was a threat to their institution. The Jewish people look at their Messiah as being a political leader and having a kingdom on this earth. Christ does have a kingdom, but is it of this earth? Yes and no. The Jewish people, that's why their Messiah will actually be the Antichrist. Christ is not into politics. That's why he entered the temple and he turned over the tables. It wasn't just for the money. The money, the shekel, was for the sin, to buy off your absolution. You see, you take the shekel, you give it to the guy for the calf, right? And then you slaughter the calf in lieu of your own death, basically, for the sin. Again, I think these messages have been misconstrued and mistaught. That's my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to believe me. But even Christ said you don't need the Bible. I'm not saying you don't need it. But I'm saying he said even a child, it's so easy, even a child could do it. And then I think back to my son fighting me when I tried to give him meat because the doctor said he needed protein, and me fighting my dad when he tried to feed me steak. And the Mommy Dearest scene with the little girl not wanting to eat her steak. So easy, even a child could do it. Do no harm. Do all things from love. Christians pushing guns, that's not loving. Catholics are way too into their luxuries, and they're way too into the voting system. We're not supposed to really care about those things. The people who participate in that, you have to understand, if you lose, you're agreeing to that loss and you're agreeing to whatever side wins. You're still in it, spiritually. I think that's a reason so many people seem to have lost their free will and have gone around the bend, is because they make all these oaths and sign their names to things, and we shouldn't quite be doing things that way. Opinion. If you have one, I'm glad to hear it when the video's over. I rarely turn comments off, but they're off now. And even people who like me a little bit would give the video a thumbs up, so I know who's watching. I always do. God's pretty good to me that way. He told me this was coming. He told me the states to avoid. I brought you all those words. God is still trying to talk to people. He is still reaching out. He is still being patient. And I know there's people, you don't care about the Bible. You've never read it, so it doesn't affect you. That's fine. I'm not saying you have to read it, believe it, nothing like that. I'm not saying you have to agree with me. But I'm saying we should have some common ground as people who share this realm. Don't be killing each other. Don't be taking each other's stuff. Don't be selling people. And don't be knowingly and willfully abusing them, especially children and the most vulnerable, the elderly and the infirm. But that's exactly what's happening now. The weakest and the most vulnerable of the society are being attacked. And even the Christians or Catholics won't stick up for them because you don't want to be next, or because you have too many comforts and luxuries. I get it, you're afraid. But it will be you. It will be. Maybe not yet, but it will be. Because if you're turning your eye to someone in need, it's going to happen to you. You know how many priests and how many people I went to for help for my family? Before anything even went down, I sensed things were happening. I said, something bad's going to happen. Please counsel me. How do I deal with this? How do I handle my husband? I don't want, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know what to do. Everybody turned me away. Everybody told me that I needed to be the one to convert him. You can't be telling women that they're supposed to be quiet and be the mothers and the homemakers, but then telling us we need to also provide financially. You can't do that. Which do you want? Because it can't be both. And that's why people are confused. And that's why families are suffering and hurting. But that's exactly what is wanted. Just like they don't want cops. They don't want them anymore. They want you complaining about them. They want law and order gone. They want order, but their kind of order. They want the cops gone, probably so that they can be open about the UN troops that are already here. Already here. Trojan horse. If you don't know what that means, look it up. It's not just a sensual paraphernalia item. It's not how it started. They've been here. People have asked me what's going to happen during the eclipse, and I have an idea, but I'm reluctant to say much. I might just write it down, put it in an envelope, and date it, and then leave it. Because I know the second we start pointing at the real AC, that's it for me. You're not allowed to say certain things about certain people and get away with it. That whole reptilian agenda. I'm pretty sure if they were reptiles, by now they would have either left or taken over. They would have shown themselves, because we'd be afraid of them, right? Wouldn't you be afraid of that? A lot of reptiles are vegetarians. Is there truth to that? I don't know. But I know they're really wanting people to be afraid of stuff. I'm tired of dealing with insanity. People that can't remember what they said 10 seconds ago. Like, I'm literally about to start walking around with a tape recorder just so I can play it. Because I don't know. How do you function in an insane society? Everybody's lost their mind. To some degree. All of us. I had really hoped humanity would put the brakes on all this. I was praying so hard that we would come out of this. I don't know if we deserve to. I really don't. And I know that sounds morbid, but it seems like people aren't going to learn to truly love or appreciate what they have, or to be grateful or joyous again, especially in America, until we hit some pretty hard times. And I hate to say that, but I have a roof over my head and a best friend and blankets that keep me warm. I am very blessed, I realize that. But again, even if you think you know someone, even if you listen or watch them 24 hours a day, you have no clue, just like I don't know of you. I love you guys. I'm sorry this was so long. I'm going to work on maybe uploading a video or two from the handy cam. Yeah, the other day I was told, why don't you just fulfill your destiny and kill yourself? I have no intention of doing that. In fact, anything they want me to do, I pretty much do the opposite. Unless, of course, they're, reverse psychology. This is so hard, guys. I really don't truly know what's going on. That's where they want us. Off balance, no resolution. I told my counselor that. Jordan Miller. I tried to report him too, and I couldn't find him. Funny, isn't it? All these people who are supposed to be things in my area, it's almost like they're all actors or something. Even my priest gaslights me, man. The one. The other one's just really kind. Sometimes the old school priests, you need them to be hard on you. But this other one, something wrong with him. And I legitimately, if this imposter spouse that I have can change his whatever, I would almost guarantee you it was him. And we go to this church. I go to this church, and they're supposed to be old school Latin. But whenever I hear the singing, I look around, and there's nobody actually singing around me. Where's it all coming from? I look up, and I see the speakers. I thought I was so impressed the first time I went, thinking, oh my God, I got to learn every bit of Latin, because even when I pull up the missals for that week and that month and that specific day, there's stuff added that's not in there. What else are you saying up there? Because I don't want to be a part of nothing blasphemous or sacrilegious. But so far, it's helped me, whatever's going on there. Funny how when I go, though, the one priest doesn't stop coughing the whole time. I know that some people listen to these personal videos and they're like, what is wrong with this person? What is she going on about? If you can't put it together, then it's not for you at this time. Just like the male manipulation, man. All that BS I saw in these 10, 12-year-old Slender Man things are things that have happened to me since I came back from Florida. And let's be clear about marine spirits, too. I'm pretty sure the abyss is in water. Okay? So when you see that Slender Man, the one in the Florida videos, how he has those octopus tentacles, arms, whatever they're called. He's marine spirit. He's marine demon. Let's not mince words anymore. That's what it is. Amazon, YouTube, they've all been teaching the children literally how to summon demons. It doesn't matter if you believe, man. It's already done. If you can't look around and see if people are messed up. Mine doesn't remember what he said 10 seconds ago. And I try to be compassionate because I remember when I was there. I remember. This is why it's so important to stay sober. And I'll do another video on that because when I deleted the channel, everything went. And I didn't think it was going to happen like it did. But of course it's me, so, that's what happens. I'm pretty sure, and I'm not going to say yes or no or anything. I'm just going to say, I think, this is what I was going to say earlier before I got off track. I think that, thinking about this and how persecuted people always end up in prison at some point, that's almost the safest place for us at this time. Because we'll all be together. Away from the crazy mobs of people. And of course you'll have the guards and stuff, but we got Jesus. But in there we'd be together, praying together. All I wanted before certain things kicked off was a short time with other people like me. People that didn't seem so robotic. People that didn't quite seem so NPC-ish. People that still had compassion. People that still knew how to laugh and have joy at funny things, beautiful things, innocent things, and not demeaning or abusive, racist, bigoted jokes, quote unquote. It's all I wanted was a short time with other people like me. And trust me, I am broken and I am not a good person. I've done bad things and I'm pretty much a fool because I still can't figure things out. I still need somebody else to tell me, like, hey, this is what's going on. And I know people make fun of me. At the same time, I know I'm not important enough to warrant this kind of attention. I know it's not about me. It's somebody I'm close to, but it's not about me. I don't think, and if it is, then I will be the most surprised person in the room. I love you guys. I love people. I even pray that God somehow manages to save everybody. And you're going to say, well, why would a God that's good even need us to be salvaged? Why do we need to be saved? You know what we need saved from? Most of all? It's ourselves. Pray, fast, repeat. And for those of you that don't know what love is, because I didn't know for a very long time, not until I started knowing the true God for myself. Love is placing that other person ahead of you. Even if it means looking at that person that you fear the most, the person that you fear disappointing, even if it means looking at that person in the eye and telling them, I think you have a problem. Let me help you, please. That's love. Love is a verb, it is an action, and it has absolutely nothing, young folks, it has absolutely nothing to do with fornication. Nothing. That's icing on the cake. That's a comfort. That's procreation. All those things together. That is a byproduct of love, or should be. But in and of itself, it is not love. And for a long time, I didn't care. I just wanted the comfort that the physical offered. Now I'm celibate. Again, it's a part of my self-imposed penance to try and be shinier and a better up for God, and maybe it'll rub off on other people because I know I'm not worthy. I have no idea why God still has me here and hasn't just thrown away the key. I have no idea. Because that's what I deserve. There are certain things I haven't done and lines I have not crossed, and I pray to God he'll never let me get to a reprobate state where I would do some of those things. But it's true. Don't ever say never and stop taking oaths and making promises, because somehow you are tempting fate, God, I don't know what to call it, but it brings that to you. Oh, you'll never cheat? Well, here you go. Here's some tough temptation, and you need a little motivation or something to uninhibit you. Well, here's some substances. Here's some liquor spirits. This is their job, is to get us to fall. Their job is to get us to end ourselves. They don't need clones, man. They have our bodies. And why do they want our bodies so bad if our bodies don't matter? Because they are a part of this and they are very important. I do not consent to being buried under the dirt. Do not do that to me. 6 feet under, please. That has his mark all over it. I refuse. Do not do that to me if God makes me die again. And people, what do you mean you've already died? Oh, you're crazy. What do you mean you've left your body? But if you're a guru and you say such a thing and you wrote books and you're on TV, well then it's okay, right? Because you're on TV. Anyways, What we need saving from the most, and the reason God needs to save us, is from ourselves. You choose to go to Hades because you don't want to be close to God. After I raised my voice today and got angry, I was so ashamed. Like, immediately I did not want to go to God. But I knew I had to go bend my knee, because the longer you feel like that, the harder it is to do. Pride is not a good thing. And all these people out there telling people, man, you got to do it on your own. You got to get up. You got to get it back up again. The only one stopping you is you. That's not true. So knock it off. The reason people have so many mental problems at this point in time is because we have a society of bully, narcissistic incels everywhere. Everywhere. And there's more of them. So all they got to do is point the finger and say, you're crazy. And most people will dismiss you then, because who wants to listen to a crazy person? Or they point a finger today and they call you a child harmer. That's why I won't do that unless I know for a fact that somebody did something like that. Because I know everybody that I've seen accuse other people of that at this point in time, most of them at one point or another was on the wrong team. I know there's people that do that type of thing, but I'm not going to focus my attention on that. I stick up for children. I think it's wrong, it's heinous, and it's disgusting, but I also know that it's spoken of way too much, and it gives people ideas. We need saved from ourselves.